So this is a standard Gilson pipette. Okay, these are probably the best pipettes around, and you're lucky enough to be having hands-on experience with these ones rather than the cheaper ones you might find in other classes. All right. Mechanically, it's got a piston at the top here, which I'm sure you're familiar with. The piston has two positions. One position, the first stop, is determined by the position of this adjustable thread here. Okay. So as you can see, as I'm adjusting that down, this is winding down, and now the movement of that piston is reduced. Okay, and the smaller I get, the less motion you get. There's no motion there at all because I'm on 0. Okay, so don't wind this black thread here any lower than where it is now. You can see that the whole window, it's on its lowest setting, and if you wind it the other direction, you can see it's clearly moving up to its highest position. Okay, so I can tell now that that's fairly close to its maximum position, which actually it is. It's on 1. Okay, so you can tell from the position of this black thread whether you're on the right scale. Okay, don't wind this too far in that direction, and don't wind this too far in that direction. Okay, you'll feel it start to get a little bit stiffer, and some people go, oh, it's stiff, I should force it a bit harder, and they break the pipettes. Okay, and unfortunately these things are in the range of $600 for a pipette, so you've got to be careful that you understand how sensitive they are, and you can tell from the position of this, not only just looking at the scale, but also you can look at the position and you can feel the amount of motion, and you'll get a feel for using it. You can actually almost guess the right setting and then fine-tune it on the dial. So the dial simply is affected by the twist here, and also on some of the newer ones with the grip on the piston bit here, you can actually turn the dial from there as well, and that's okay. But some of the older ones, when you twist this, nothing happens. So generally, this is how you operate them. Okay. So, like I said, there's two positions. The first position is determined by the reading here. This scale here, the twisting of this, alters the first stop. The second stop, which is that bit, is not calibrated. It has nothing to do with the setting here. It's completely independent. Okay? Now, why are the two stop positions? When you're pipetting a solution, you set your dial to whatever the setting is. In this case, I've set it to 540 microliters. Okay? So when you've got this on here, you go down to the first stop, you immerse in your solution, you draw up your solution, you then go to your next tube, you dispense your solution, and then you just push the extra bit to push out the air. Okay? So whenever you draw up your solution, you just go down to the first stop, immerse, and take it up. So that second stop is not calibrated, and only the first stop is determined by this, not the amount of winding here. Okay, so mechanically, it doesn't matter whether you've got the small P20 or the large P1000. They're identical in terms of mechanically how you use them. They've just got, the two stops. They've got the dispenser here to flick the tip off. The blue tips are for the P1000. The yellow tips are for the P200 and the P20. Okay, and it's fairly obvious. If you try and put the wrong tip on the wrong pipette, it just won't fit. Now, so we have three pipetters here. We have a P1000, a P200, and a P20. That 1220 refer to the maximum capacity of the pipette, which is in microliters. So you have 1,000 microliters, which is 1 mil. You have 200 microliters, which is 0.2 of a mil, and you have 20 microliters, which is 0.02 of a mil. Okay, so you need to think. In your lab book, it will talk about mils or microliters, and you need to be able to flip between mils and microliters seamlessly and pick the right pipette to dispense either 500 microliters or half a mil, which is exactly the same thing. Okay, so this you would use for half a mil, and this you would use for 500 microliters because it's the same volume, and you need to know that. Okay, And likewise, you'd use this one for anything. So the reason you have 3, anything between 0 and 20 microliters, you use the P20. Anything above 20 microliters, you then switch to the P200 if it's between 20 microliters and 200 microliters. If it's above 200 microliters, you then switch to the P1000 for anything between 200 and 1000. So there's like each one has a window where it's most accurate. So if you're working with less than 20 microliters, you use the P20. If you're working with between 20 and 200, use the P200. If you're over 200 but less than 1000, use the P1000. So like I said, from 0 to 20 microliters is the P20. Above 20 but less than 200 is the P200. Above 200 but less than a mil is the P1000. Yeah? And it's blue ticks for this. So, and these two, even though you've got a fat barrel and a skinny barrel, it fits the yellow tip, and this one fits the yellow tip. Okay? So this one tip will fit both.